The Broncos have been searching for their next quarterback of the future since they won Super Bowl 50 with Peyton Manning. Since that season, the Broncos have started more than 10 quarterbacks. Their latest try was third-round pick Russell Wilson, who is still their starting QB. Wilson went to 2 back-to-back Super Bowls with the Seahawks and won one of them. Since then, he's been up and down as a passer. It got to a point that the Seahawks were ready to send him away for the right price. The Broncos paid even more by sending 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick, and 3 players to Seattle in exchange for Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick. No one knew how that trade would turn out. Some thought Wilson was the missing piece to take the Broncos back to the Super Bowl. Others thought that the Seahawks got away more than Wilson was worth. It turns out that the Seahawks won the trade. Wilson's first year with the Broncos was the worst year of his career, and it wasn't even close. The Broncos then fired coach Nathaniel Hackett and brought in a big-name coach Sean Payton to see if he could help Wilson. Payton was honest on his thoughts of last season, saying that it was the worst coaching job that he'd ever seen. Well, karma must hurt because his team is off to one of the worst starts this season. Now, his main job was to help Russell Wilson improve from his horrible 2022 season. In a way, he has done that. Last year, Wilson had a completion percentage of just over 60% and a QB rating of 84.4. This season, Wilson is completing over 67% of his passes and has a QB rating of 106.7, which ranks 3rd in the NFL so far. Still, I feel like Peyton has focused so much on Wilson that he hasn't put in enough thought on the rest of the team. They have rushed for 386 yards this season, which is in the middle of the pack. That was supposed to be their strength. Another strength was supposed to be their defense. They are the worst defense in the league right now. They are allowing the 2nd most passing yards, the most rushing yards, and the most points scored on. This is after a season where they were 13th in passing yards allowed, 5th in rushing yards allowed, and 12th in points allowed. In 2022, it felt like the team was competitive. At least you could see the players giving it their all. You just don't really see that this season. Nathaniel Hackett was fired before even finishing his first season with the Broncos, but the Broncos look even worse under Sean Payton. The Broncos started the 2023 season with a loss to divisional rivals the Las Vegas Raiders, but it was by 1 point. Their second loss came against the Commanders, who scored 35 points against them. That's an offense that has Sam Howell as their starting QB. Nothing against the guy, I think he'll be good in the future. The only positive side from the game is that the Broncos scored 30 points against the Washington defense that I think is one of the best in the league.
What?
Then come week 3, which this shouldn't been possible, the Dolphins scored 70 points against the Broncos. Then they finally got their first win against the Bears, but it was barely a win and it shouldn't be anything to get excited for. Denver needs to get it together quick because this isn't what the Broncos traded a 1st and a 2nd round pick for. Bitch, we some stars, pull up in foreign car.